The Last of Us is probably my favorite game franchise from the past decade. There's amazing character development, fun gameplay, and a very controversial story where either you hate it or you love it. I fall into the latter half and actually enjoyed The Last of Us 2 for what it was. Recently, it's been announced that HBO is going to be adapting The Last of Us onto the screen as a TV series. When I first heard about this, I was really excited and even felt good about the project until I remembered it's a video game adaptation. Video game adaptations are known to be absolute dog shit, and I got really worried for this project real fast. I don't think I'll be able to erase the bullshit I watched, like all the Resident Evil adaptations, the Assassin's Creed movie, and yes, I absolutely despise the Uncharted movie because why in the hell is Tom Holland Nathan Drake, dude? Okay, anyways, like I said, HBO is producing a Last of Us show, and Sony decided to remake the original game, and you already know me, I spent $70, which could have gone to literally anything else. I've been playing through it, and all the storylines instantly come back to me once I reach them, and it reminds me why I absolutely love this franchise. I wanted to go through everything we know so far and decide if my hype is warranted or I will be left in the pool of my tears once again. Let's get into it. Now, the first thing I want to get into is the cast. In the Last of Us series, Joel is voiced by Troy Baker, and he's actually in the show. We're not sure exactly who he is, but he is in the casting list. More importantly, we got to look at who plays Joel and Ellie. Let's start with Ellie. Not exactly who I had in mind. It doesn't really look like her, like at all. And I understand why they couldn't get Ashley Johnson to play her because, you know, she's way too mature now to play a 14-year-old girl. A lot of people were fan casting Caitlin Dever as Ellie, and I could definitely see it. She's in her mid-20s, and I think if they de-aged her a bit, it could definitely work. This isn't a knock to Bella Ramsey or her ability to act. It's just kind of weird and uncanny seeing her play as Ellie. And honestly, at this point, I would have been fine with Millie Bobby Brown because what the fuck is this? Next, we got Joel, who is being played by Pedro Pascal, which on paper sounds really, really weird, but when you see him in the fit and in the character, I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. A lot of people really wanted Hugh Jackman, which would have been amazing, but I'm honestly alright with Pedro playing Joel. We just have to see how his performance is now. Since we got the two most important characters out the way, let's lightly touch on all the notable ones. So first up is Tommy, and yeah, okay, never fucking mind then. See, in my opinion, the casting isn't really that deep and can't really ruin any media on its own, so let's get into what really matters. The script, especially in a show like this that's adapting the chemistry and relationship that Joel and Ellie had in the games. Now, before we continue, spoilers for The Last of Us 1 and 2 if you haven't played it yet. In The Last of Us, we start off as Joel's daughter and we end up seeing her die due to getting shot by someone who was ordered to open fire on anyone who comes in contact with them because the apocalypse literally started like 20 minutes ago beforehand. This death absolutely crushes Joel, of course, and I'm really scared that they won't be able to capture what made the scene extremely emotional and depressing. The music, the blood just coming out of her, her whimpering voice, and of course Joel's complete desperation to keep his daughter alive. Everything about this scene is perfect. It's by far my favorite opening to any game ever, and it's scenes like this that made me fall in love with the series. It is going to take a lot of effort, a lot of talent, and beautiful cinematography to really capture that feeling that this scene gives off.
Please don't. Oh no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. God. Listen to me, I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby, I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby, I know. Sarah. Baby.
I'm also scared that they might skip little parts and details to be able to fit into the episodic format. Like when Sarah gives the watch to Joel, you might have completely forgotten about it, but this part is important to showing us how close these two really are. Joel is a loving father and his daughter loves him enough to get him a watch. It makes the scene we just saw way more depressing than it already is. It's little things like this that can easily be missed, but it seems like Neil Druckmann, the director and writer of the games, is going to be playing a major role in writing and directing the show. So I do have a little faith that they'll be able to capture this scene to at least serviceable level. Another concern for the script that I have has to be Joel and Ellie's relationship. When they first met, Joel and his partner Tess are forced to smuggle Ellie out of the city to the Fireflies, and Joel treats her like an obligation instead of a human at first. Tess is also killed during this journey, so subconsciously he blames Ellie that they even got into the mess in the first place. Eventually he warms up to her and eventually sees his daughter in her. This is done in the game with the mid-game dialogue and the cutscenes. I really hope that they don't start off that chemistry and just slowly build up to the point of the story like they were in the game. In the game, Joel slowly builds up to the point where he breaks Ellie out of the hospital and basically dooms humanity because he didn't want to lose another daughter figure in his life. It's not out of nowhere or a complete shock or anything. It's all built up during the course of the game, and I really think they can replicate that in a TV show. I think they even have more potential to flesh out their relationships with the episodic format, and we just have to hope it is done the right way. Last of Us is a series at this point, and we have no idea if they plan on making a third one. What we can infer though is that they will more than likely continue the show after the end of season 1. The season supposedly only has 10 episodes, and that's not enough to cover the first and second game. If this is successful, I think it's clear that they are planning to continue and recreate the story of Last of Us 2 for season 2. Now the question is, will they deviate for some of the controversial decisions made with the story? We all know that Joel eventually dies in the beginning of The Last of Us 2. This was absolutely despised by many people due to it happening in the first hour of the game. Now I wonder if they will wait to kill him off, or if they will stand their ground and do what happened in the game and kill him off in the first episode. Anyways, that's all I have for y'all today. So if you got this far, make sure to tell me what y'all think is going to happen. If you think the series will be great or disappointing. If you're new, hit that sub button. If you enjoyed, hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all, and I'm out. Peace.